up, everybody? Team Fanatic here. Hope you all are having a fantastic day and welcome to another post-game reaction. In this one, I'm continuing my coverage of my Nashville Predators. And in this one, I'm talking about another high-scoring affair against the Minnesota Wild this time around. But this time, unlike that Blues game, we come up on the losing side. Predators lose to the Wild 6-5 in overtime. Man, even in the high-scoring games, even in a game where we came back so many times in this game, and you know what? Even though there are some positive things to build on, even though guys had great performances, still just stings a little bit. If this was something that happened at the start of the season, I would be a lot more positive, but just the fact that it's happening now at this point where points are at such a premium right now and the Central is so stacked and the Western Conference as a whole is very stacked. It's this one stings. It really stings. So let's go ahead and talk about what exactly happened in this game. So coming into this game, I feel like the keys for it were pretty self-explanatory. It was writing on the wall. We had to have a good start here, get on the forecheck, be aggressive, and maybe that can lead to us getting the first goal. And Predators fans, I know that, we've heard all of that before. We've heard all of that. It's just a matter of us trying to execute that. I mean, this was the final home game before the Olympic break. So, you know what? Why not? Why not tonight? Why not have that be the night where, we do those things? We get up to that nice start, and we get that first goal. Nope! Not here. Apparently, we gotta wait even longer. 149, right off of the draw. In the offensive zone! Buggles in, he finds Matt Boldy all the way down there. He splits our defense, and he scores. And this is what just was so baffling to me. The Minnesota Wild, that is a great team that they have over there. All around great players, which is kind of weird to say considering that, Coach Hines, that's their coach. But what I will say is that, again, that's a great team. However, one of their just few flaws in their game is that they're not very good off of the draw. They're not very good in the face-off circle. That, I thought, was something that we could really just, exploit in this game. Have those, quick draws and maybe get goals out of them. But here, it's the Wild that do it. It's the Wild that get the better of us to start this game. So, once again, we got to play from a deficit, and it got even worse. 3:31 Stamkos is called for tripping Hughes. Wild go on the power play, and right off of the draw, again, Hughes puts the puck on net, and Boldy tips it in. Matt Boldy, who had a great game. 2 goals in 3 minutes and 39 seconds. So here it is. And again, I don't know if this is something that we're I don't know if this is something that we just do. I don't know if this is just who we are now. Apparently it is. Apparently this is just us. We're just not good starters. We once again find ourselves in this deficit. And the reason why I'm just kind of laughing and smiling right now is that, you know what? Every single time it's happened, every single time we've been down, we find a way to come back. Predators have trailed by multiple goals in 4 straight home games. And once again, here is a case where we just come back right here. We get a break on the power play. Ryan Hartman, the former Predator, he's called for tripping. And on our power play, Roman Josi, he takes a shot, and Forsberg scores his 24th of the season. Forsberg has now had a 4-game goal streak and now 29 points in 29 games. He has been on fire. Now, the Wild do answer here. Boldy, he takes a shot. Blankenberg tries to club this down, but he hits McCarron with the puck. Of course, that was, unintentional, but Boldy, he comes right back in there, tips that puck in, and it is a hat trick. A hat trick for Matt Boldy. And there was even more history made with this goal by Boldy. Matt Boldy has now scored 3 goals. He scored 3 goals on 4 shots. And with this, Boldy has now reached a career high in goals in a season, which, again, that's impressive for him. Good for him. Good for him getting that mark. I'd be a lot more happy for him if it did not happen against us, but it is what it is. But it just sucks. It sucks it happens like this, where it's like what do you do here? What are you supposed to do when Blankenberg, he's trying to just glove this thing down, but it just hits your guy? How are you supposed to, defend that? How is Saros supposed to stop that? He cannot, and it stinks right there. What I will say is that later on, I do commend Wilsby for trying to reignite this spark right here. He and Pitt, they got into it. And so, with Wilsby trying to reignite that spark, I suppose that's what did it right there. Because Predators, we come right back in this game. Stamkos scores on the power play. Hollis scores later on. So now the game is tied as we go into the second period. And in the second period, 41 seconds in, a much better start here. Evangelista, he gets the goal. Predators have now taken the lead. And for this second period as a whole, yes, it did have a great start. We did have a great start. This definitely felt like a much faster period still. In terms of both teams were playing fast, trading shots, but the goaltending for both teams was great. Saros, he was making some sensational saves in this second period, but here at 16:06, his luck runs out. So this is a case where Roman Josi, one of the best defensemen in the league, going to the Olympics, he loses this puck right here, and Trennan for the Wild, he scores. So it is now a 4-4 game as we go into the third period. And this was kind of a sucky way to start this third period. Ryan O'Reilly, he's called for a high stick. Clearly that was unintentional. He wasn't even looking on that play. And so the Wild go on the power play, and this was something that I was really hoping to avoid as much as possible. The Wild were 40% on the power play in their last 10 games. They did score on the man advantage earlier, and thankfully this time we do shut them down. But as for this period as a whole, it kind of sucks to say, but the Wild, I feel like they had just more quality chances in this period. They had more quality chances in front, and I think that's mainly because I don't think we forechecked as much, and we lacked O-zone time. And so the Wild, they do get another goal. Again, it's just crazy. Tarasenko, he's credited with this goal, but in soccer, this would be a case of an own goal. That's what this goal was. Because it comes off of Blankenberg's skate. Comes off of his skates. And that sucks for Blankenberg. The victim, two-time victim of just unintentional, just unfortunate cases. Where, the puck just takes a weird bounce off of his body in some way. And then the Wild score. But I know that Minnesota in games like this, they have been in some tight games as of late. They'll take it any way that they can get it. But the Predators, once again, we answer that bell. Roman Josi, my boy, my dude, he scores, baby. And Roman Josi, I've said it before, he has been on fire. 21 points in 12 games. Most by a defenseman since January 11th. He has been playing great. So now here it is. The epic comeback. As great as it was, as great as so many times that we did come back in this game, we got to go to overtime once again. And for this overtime period, the Wild, unfortunately, they had a lot of the possession. They had a lot of the shots. And eventually they have that 2-on-1. And unfortunately, in my mind, I was like, I think that this is it. This is it. And it wasn't. Spurgeon scores. And the Wild win. Again, just no doubt overall in this game. Our team played great. It just really stinks to lose this. And this is not the first time that something like this has happened. The Predators, this was our third overtime game in 5 games. We lost to the Bruins, lost to the Devils, and now it happens again here against the Wild. And I've said this, that if we want to gain more ground, we got to beat these playoff teams, the teams that are where we want to be. And for the Wild, yes, they are one of the best teams in the league. But, man, to allow 6 goals, that sucks right there. And this is the dark side of it. In that Blues reaction, if you've seen that video, I was, oh my gosh, I could not contain myself. I was up, I was screaming, I was cheering for joy. And I think a lot of that joy for me, looking back on it, was relief. Because the Blues, they had us 5-1. You know what was funny? I saw a few days later, they also blew, a 4-goal game to, I believe it was the Devils, I'm pretty sure. But in that game, we came back to win, and it was great because we completed it. We completed the comeback. But I've said that I do not want us relying on, we'll just pick it up later. That kind of thing. It's so important for us to have good starts to games and to periods. In the second period, of course, that was a great start. Third period, at least we didn't allow that goal early. But if we're talking about starts in that first period, again, just imagine this. I'm just throwing this out there. Imagine if, what if we don't allow that first goal? What if Blankenberg's not the victim of just some unfortunate stuff? What if the puck does not deflect off of his skate? What if he doesn't try to glove it down? What if anything happens that prevents the Wild from scoring at least 1 goal? We would have won. We would have won, and we would have gotten that extra point to give us that extra boost to climb up in the standings. So yeah, that's kind of the dark side of it. It's kind of the dark side of games like this where you come back, you do a lot of great stuff, but it just doesn't pan out. Excuse me, you don't get that win. So it really stinks. With that being said, again, there is a lot of stuff that we can build on. Tons of guys had great games. Absolutely. We all seen it. And this group is still fighting with such belief in themselves and what they can do. Some nights, it works out. Other nights, just pucks take just a few bad bounces. We allow 1 too many goals. And it is what it is. But I say it with confidence, knowing that we're not gonna get discouraged by this. No, this team still has a belief that we can make the playoffs, and I'll call it for how I see it, with respect to the other teams in this league. We have 1 more game to go against the Capitals until the Olympic break, and then we have a few more games, and then it's March. So that's where we got to pick it up. We got to end games strong and start games strong and get wins and get that extra point. That would really help us if we do that. If we find ourselves, I want to say, maybe I'm hoping at least 5 points off. I don't want any more than that. Maybe 5 points off from the wild card spot by the end of March. I like our chances. I do. But it's going to take guys having this fire and starting games off the right way. Have to come out there, start games strong, get on the forecheck, and maybe get a goal. Or prevent the other team from getting a goal. Stuff like that can play a huge role in whether or not you win or lose a game. So hopefully we can do that against the Caps. I'm going to hope to get that reaction out as soon as I can. Yeah, these back-to-backs are brutal, but hopefully in that Caps game, it's not too brutal for these Predators. Hopefully we get the win, and we like we go into the Olympic break with like feeling good, gaining some rest, and then like coming back stronger. But fans, that is going to do it for this post-game reaction. Thank you all so much for watching. If you all enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and you can join our Fanatic Army. And a hearty salute to all of you as always, and I hope that all of you have a fantastic day. Go Preds!